Hey y'all, Brian here from Study Teach Abroad. I've been all over, teaching, volunteering, and soaking up life across Latin America and Europe. On my YouTube channel, I'm all about blending these adventures into valuable content, whether you're eyeing study abroad spots, navigating Fulbright applications, or eager to volunteer abroad, I've got you covered here. But today though, let's dive into the top 10 places to study abroad, focusing on overall quality of life and expensive. But quick heads up, I won't be endorsing specific study abroad companies. Instead, I'll share tips to amp up your study abroad game. One biggie. We're going to find that sweet spot between wanting to travel and an academic grind. I understand that both ideas are important. So let's think about getting the bang for your buck so that every credit you earn will be earned for study abroad, because some universities might ask you to pay for a full year's tuition, and you might be more savvy by planning your study abroad ahead of time. So let's dive into it and get to the top 10 places to study abroad, not in any particular order. To begin, Germany. This place is the education jackpot. It offers loads of programs in English and low to no tuition fees. Plus, the cost of living won't break the bank, and being a stone's throw away from other European gems is a bonus. You're right next to Salzburg, and Paris is only a few hours on a train. A summer abroad there can run you around $4,450, making it an accessible hub for travel in Europe. Oftentimes, the tuition that I talk about in this post includes food and housing and tuition, as well as health insurance. So that $4,450 is actually quite comparable to life in the United States for a summer. All right, moving on to Spain. I personally studied abroad in Spain. It was a life-changing experience, but Spain is a goldmine of cultural and history. Spain's got a variety of study abroad options, and the living costs are some of the lowest on my list. If you go, or if you want to go, make sure you check out the University of Salamanca. It's affordable, historic, and just plain downright awesome. I personally studied there for around $19,000 for an entire year. That included insurance, housing, food, and I lived with a host family in a college dorm setting. It also included a couple semester weekend excursions to Rome and Paris. The overall experience was life-changing, and I would go back in a heartbeat. If you're wanting to learn basic Spanish, or if you're wanting to study Spanish culture or European history, as I said, I highly recommend checking out the University of Salamanca or checking out universities in Granada or Seville, because Madrid tends to be more on the expensive part. Same with Barcelona. Third on my list is Italy. So picture this, a whole semester in Rome, one of the most enchanting cities on earth with the best food. It'll cost you around $17,950, that includes food, housing, and insurance while you're there, which is phenomenal. If you're into heavenly pasta food and you want to live in a buzzing capital, Italy will absolutely be your study playground. All right, the next one is France. France offers world-class universities. It's a cultural haven. It's an architectural wonder of the world. It's a hot pick for many people, as they always dream of living in Paris. A semester there is pretty expensive, but it will set you back just under $20,000, which is still pretty much a steal when you compare it to most universities in the United States. $20,000 for housing and insurance and food really isn't that bad. If you want to do a full year, it's going to cost you close to around $35,000. And as I said before, compare $35,000 to the cost of going to college in the United States. Study abroad is a very real thing, because you definitely are taking advantage of the lower tuition costs in foreign countries. Okay, moving on to Scotland. Glasgow is a place to go to be business, STEM, social sciences, and liberal arts majors. It's very expensive, and definitely more expensive than Paris, and it runs around $24,000 a semester, and a year can actually cap out closer to $40,000. So if you want to go to Glasgow, Scotland will definitely be more of the more expensive items on the list, but if you're really into it, just consider it an investment as a unique experience. The next one on my list is Greece, which has a cradle of history. Could you imagine studying abroad in Athens for a semester? It'll run you around $16,000, double that if you want to do it for a year. If you want to eat gyros every day, that's totally reasonable. I would too. If you like tzatziki stas, even better. Greece is pretty safe, and going there would be like stepping back 2,000 years in time. The next on my list is a country I've been to. As I said before, I'm a foreign language teacher here in the United States, but Chile. It has a solid economy, and the education is phenomenal. Chile is kind of like a secret Latin American gem. A whole semester will cost you between $10,000 to $12,000, and a year is more around the $17,000 to $20,000 mark. So just let that sink in. You can study abroad in Chile for $20,000. The only thing additionally you'd have to buy is any living things that you want, like money to go out to eat, or money to buy the plane tickets or to do any excursions that you want to do. That $20,000 oftentimes includes food, housing, and insurance while you're there, as well as the tuition, which is just phenomenal. But I'd recommend that you look for programs that embed little excursions into it, because the cost might be a little bit higher, but you'll be able to travel with your group to go to places that are close by, like Buenos Aires, or flying to Cusco in Peru, who knows. But two towns or cities that I highly recommend are Valparaiso or Santiago. Although they're big, they are pretty on the inexpensive side. Next on my list, Colombia. I personally was on a Fulbright teaching grant there and I taught in Medellin, Colombia. I was actually really excited to see that after 9 years of teaching there, having taught there, I taught there 9 years ago is what I'm saying, that it's finally on the list of places that American universities are willing to send their students. A semester there at one of the most fancy universities will run about $12,000. If you want to take advantage of the dollar being worth a lot, you're definitely in for a treat. The dollar is currently exchanging around 4,000 Colombian pesos per dollar, making everything quite affordable. A simple lunch can run you around $2 to $3. If you invite a friend, closer to $5 or $6. Just be careful though. As within all cities, safety is a concern. It's definitely not anything like it used to be. In fact, if you live in St. Louis has a higher crime rate than Medellin, Colombia currently. So just follow advice that you would in any city, and don't show off anything that you have, and be extra careful when walking around at night. They call Medellin the Eternal Spring City, and that is because it is always 75 degrees there every single day. And it's the city of flowers because there's 4 flower harvests per year. Moving on to Peru. I highly encourage the people who are looking to study abroad to not just check out countries in Europe, but to look into the experiences that can be had in Latin America, because the exchange rate and the overall cost is lower. A semester in Peru will run you between $5,000 to $10,000. A whole year is closer to the $16,000 to $20,000 mark. Peru is known for archaeological wonders and natural beauty. It's a rising star in Latin America. Cusco is a fantastic spot to learn Spanish. Lima is a great place to learn about literature and immerse yourself in Latin American culture. And lastly, moving on to Morocco. Morocco is an interesting one. It's an African country, but with its unique blend of Arab, Berber, and French influences, Morocco provides a culturally rich experience. The cost of living is greatly lower, and a semester there will be around $6,000. It's a hot place to go, but if you like to hang out with camels and surfing in the desert, might be a pretty cool place to check out. You can do Arabic studies, international relations, or just study Arabic languages for almost half the price of a university in the United States. I quite honestly can't believe how inexpensive it is to study abroad in some of these places, and I personally took advantage of it. But there you have it. Those are my top 10 countries for study abroad currently, taking in mind the cost of living and the overall cost of travel. If you find this valuable, please check out my other videos. It takes a lot of time to make these, and I'm investing heavily in technology. So please, I'm not asking you for anything but hitting like, subscribe, and sharing this video with friends who plan to study abroad. Thanks so much, and I hope you come back for more study, teach abroad ideas.